Speaking to CBS News, Polish Foreign Minister Radoslaw Sikorski delivered a blunt message directly to Vladimir Putin. He said, "If Ukraine isn't enough for you, you'll have to face us." It was a sharp departure from the hesitation characterizing much of Europe's response back in 2022. Poland is speaking loudly because a shadow war is already spilling across its borders. Following a confirmed sabotage operation against the Warsaw-Lublin railway line carried out by individuals working for Russian intelligence, Poland retaliated by shutting down and seizing the last open Russian consulate in Gdansk. Moscow's response to losing the consulate was bizarre. Dmitry Medvedev, Russia's former president, demanded that Poland hand over the Belvedere Palace in Warsaw. He claimed the palace was built with Russian imperial money, using a distorted 19th-century history of Poland as an autonomous kingdom to manufacture a fake property claim. These incidents are deeply connected. The severed railway lines, the drone violations, and the manufactured diplomatic bluffs are all deniable, sub-threshold attacks. They are the opening skirmishes of a hybrid war designed to test NATO's eastern flank. Western intelligence services are circulating a specific timeline. Estimates suggest that if a ceasefire is reached in Ukraine, the Russian military could regroup and be ready to launch a regional war in the Baltic area in exactly 2 years. This intelligence weighs heavily down. That's why Sikorski went on American television. He was sounding the alarm about a false flag operation, warning that within this 2-year window, Russia could manufacture a violent provocation against a NATO state and use it to justify an attack. Polish leadership has accepted this intelligence as fact, and the Russian threat has become a literal stopwatch. This is the catalyst for the fastest military buildup in modern European history. This chart shows current NATO defense spending percentages, and you can see the scale of Poland's reaction. Warsaw is now allocating between 4 and 5% of its GDP to defense, surpassing the United States and sitting at the very top of the alliance. They are spending that money to deliberately sever historical dependencies. Poland is wiping its slate clean of legacy Soviet equipment, replacing those systems with modern technology. Armor is at the center of this transformation. Poland has ordered over 250 American M1 Abrams tanks and hundreds of K2 Black Panthers from South Korea. Once delivered, their modern tank fleet will exceed 1,000 units. They are also drawing direct tactical lessons from the Ukrainian front. Poland placed a massive order for nearly 500 HIMARS rocket systems, alongside 32 F-35 fighter jets and over 90 Apache attack helicopters. This procurement represents a hardware-level break from Moscow's sphere of influence. It is an intentional move to ensure the country is never again defenseless against an eastern invasion. All of this hardware is being deployed to defend a massive physical barrier called Tarcha Wschodnia, the Eastern Shield. It's a $2.5 billion project to fortify 700 kilometers of the border facing Belarus and Kaliningrad, with bunkers, anti-tank trenches, and minefields. This tactical map shows the logic of Poland's military doctrine. They know they cannot win a total war against Russia entirely alone. The wall and the army are designed as a delay line. The goal is to absorb the initial blow long enough for NATO reinforcements to arrive. A major focus is the Suwalki corridor. If Russian forces capture this narrow strip, the 3 Baltic states will be completely severed from the rest of the alliance. Right now, Poland functions as the physical lifeline for Ukraine's survival. Approximately 80 to 90% of all Western military aid flows through a single hub at Rzeszów Airport, making Poland the main gateway for the entire war effort. Poland's fortified geography has become the single point of failure for both NATO's future eastern defense and Ukraine's present ability to resist. The statistics are formidable on paper, but Poland is struggling to find the manpower to match its equipment. Many newly established military units remain empty as the country struggles to recruit and retain personnel. The ambitious political target of a 500,000-strong army is realistically over a decade away. This creates a dangerous gap between paper strength and actual capability on the ground. Expanding troop numbers while simultaneously integrating entirely foreign weapon systems is an immense operational risk. Training soldiers on these new platforms takes time that current intelligence suggests Poland might not have. If this complex logistical transition stumbles, Poland risks emerging from this window weakened rather than fortified, leaving its massive new arsenal without enough hands to operate it. The deepest vulnerability is built into the strategy itself. The concept of a delay line depends entirely on NATO's Article 5 and the arrival of American reinforcements in the first days of a conflict. That guarantee is increasingly tied to the unpredictable nature of American politics. In mid-2026, the U.S. unexpectedly canceled a 4,000-troop reinforcement to Poland, highlighting how quickly strategic promises shift. Even with its new tanks, Poland remains dependent on external allies for critical warfighting domains, like long-range intelligence, advanced air defense, and ammunition production. When left alone, many of its strongest cards are in someone else's hands. Poland is racing to build Europe's most lethal army, not to fight, but to make a Russian attack mathematically unappealing. This massive wall only functions if the allies standing behind it choose to hold their ground.